Aquarius, hello and welcome to your reading for the month of March. The month has already started, so I'm sure that you have already began to feel the energies that are in the cosmos. I will get started with our reading today with an oracle message from the Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle. This is by Kelly Smith. I love this deck. I call it my tough love deck because that's exactly what it does. Sometimes it calls us on our shit. I also call it my OG deck because it is the one that I've had the longest and I use the most. I use this in my one-on-one sessions. I use this oracle deck in my business readings. I use this oracle deck in my group coaching programs, and it is my most commonly used one because it's just always so accurate. Now, like I said, there's a number of energies that are at play right now for the month of March, and you're probably already feeling this. Venus is in retrograde, so a lot of us are experiencing a lot around our relationships and love, maybe even relationships with family members, friends, coworkers. If you're in business for yourself, this could be relationships with clients as well. And don't forget that Venus also affects our passions, our desires, and even our money stories. So that could be coming up for you. We have some really big lunations coming as well too. We've got the lunar eclipse happening in the mid-month time, and we've also got the partial solar eclipse happening at the end of the month. But my favorite, and the reason that I decided to move my desk away from the wall and up towards the window, is spring equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere. It is so beautiful. It's feeling like spring. We've got the sun shining. I can look at the lake at the window. So I've moved my desk to enjoy this. And for me, I love the spring equinox because it feels like Mother Earth's new year. It feels like the real new year. January 1st isn't the real new year. It's still full-blown winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. We're in hibernation mode come January 1st. We're not ready to take action on our goals. We're not ready to, people always say, new year, new me, new resolutions. Well, I was a fat loss coach for 7 years. I can tell you, New Year's resolutions, they don't work, not long-term anyways. But when we actually sync with the cycles and the rhythms of the earth and we treat the new year as if it is the spring, that's when we can really start to make momentum on the goals, the desires, and what it is that we want to call more of into our lives. So I'm excited to see what that is going to look like for you for the month of March. So Aquarius, let's see what energy wants to start us off here. Okay, this is so beautiful. You're getting universal bank right off the hopper. Everything that you need to thrive is already here. Aquarius, you are very intuitive. You're very intuitive. So if you don't already have if you don't already have a meditation practice going, now is the time to make sure that you do that. And I hear a lot of the times people are like, oh, Jenny, I can't meditate. I can't shut my brain off. I can't shut my thoughts off. That's not the point, okay? The point of meditation isn't to shut your brain off. Sometimes people will say, oh, I was thinking about this, I was thinking about this, I was thinking about this. Well, were you actually thinking about those things, or were you maybe receiving intuitive guidance around those things? Sometimes, especially if you're clairaudient, if you have a sense of hearing, if your psychic gift of clairaudience is turned on, you might hear words, and sometimes they're even in your own voice. So when you think like, oh, I just was thinking about this when I was trying to meditate, maybe, just maybe, that is an intuitive message from your higher self, from your spirit guides and allies. Maybe it's an intuitive message. So what I recommend is, if you are somebody who struggles with meditation, consider that you could be meditating when you're driving, maybe when you're taking a drive down a road that you know like the back of your hand. You don't have to think about directions. You just know exactly where to turn, when to turn, things like that. You're probably dipping into that meditative state. A lot of the times people tell me they have the absolute best ideas when they're in the shower or walking in the woods or sitting by the water at a lake or an ocean. That's because you're meditating. So again, you've got the universal bank card. So whatever challenges you are experiencing in the month of March, you've got the answers within. There's an opportunity here for you to create a meditation practice. For myself, it took me a really long time to learn how to meditate. I would listen to guided meditations. I actually now meditate usually about twice a day. I teach people how to meditate inside of my programs. I take people through a lot of guided meditations in my Zoom meetings and my group coaching programs, and in my monthly membership, where I'll go into some of the extended readings at the end of this reading. And if you're looking for meditations, I've got a bunch of them here on the channel. You can definitely take a peek if guided meditations will help you. What else does the Aquarius Collective need to know for the month of March, please? You're also getting approval. So, like I said, there's an opportunity here for you to go within this month. And it feels like it's not just about meditation, though. It feels like it's also about self love and self care. Now, meditation is an act of self care, spending time with yourself, for yourself, by yourself. That's definitely an act of self care. But this is also calling for you to consider where else may you not be totally filling your cup. The approval card says that when you approve of yourself, others will too. But the way that I see this card really is saying, like, what are you calling into your life? How do you treat yourself? Yes, it is about approving of ourselves, but it's also about how do we treat ourselves? Do we believe that we are worthy? Do we believe that we are worthy of taking time to ourselves? Do we believe we're worthy of drinking enough water, eating enough fruits and vegetables, getting enough sleep, eating properly, moving our body? Do we make sure that we don't get enough, or that we don't get too much screen time, that we're not zoning out all the time? Do we make sure we don't get too much junk food? It's really about self-care, that balancing act of making sure that you get enough of the things that fill your cup, and not too much of the things that drain your cup. Again, approve of yourself and others will too. So if you are showing yourself a lot of self-love and self-compassion, then you're going to attract people into your life who treat you the same way. The opposite is true. If you are neglecting yourself and putting yourself on the back burner, then you're likely to attract people into your life who will also do the same. So approve of yourself and others will too. This is for those of you too who may be seeking external validation. If you're seeking external validation, how can you validate yourself more? How can you show yourself that you love yourself? And this is something that I know a lot of us, especially women, really struggle with. Many of us have a core worthiness wound where we were taught at some point in childhood that we are not worthy, and we're not worthy of love. We're not worthy of loving ourselves. We're not worthy of loving our bodies. And this is really calling for you to explore that core worthiness wound so you can work through it. That's exactly what we do in the 16-week program, Nourish Your Temple. It's not just about fat loss. It's not just about food and nutrition and exercise. It's also about learning how to heal from that core worthiness wound so we can learn how to love ourselves and love our bodies. Now you're getting the spiritual growth card. So whatever this is all about here, this approval card, and knowing that you've got all the answers within, there's a part of you that knows that this challenge that you're experiencing in the month of March is actually a lesson that you need for your spiritual growth, for your soul's evolvement. And that's what we're here for. That's why we chose to come to Earth, so that we could evolve as souls, so we could learn lessons for our spiritual evolution. So whatever you're going through right now, I know it feels tough, but you're meant to go through this. Instead of asking yourself, oh my goodness, why is this happening to me? It's like, why is this happening for me? What am I meant to learn from this? And the thing is, the universe is going to send us the exact same lesson over and 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 over again until we actually learn it. Do you want to be in the same position 6 months from now? A year from now, 2 years from now? Probably not. You probably want to be in a different space. You probably want to be, where you desire, where your manifestations are. You want to be there. But if you don't learn this lesson for good, then the universe is going to give it to you again. It might be different people, it might be different circumstances, but it's the same lesson. I'll give you the example of the girl who always has an abusive boyfriend. She leaves one abusive boyfriend and she starts with another one, and he becomes abusive. And then she breaks up with him and she gets a new boyfriend and he becomes abusive. Why is that? Is it because she's a magnet for abusive people? No, it's because there's a part of her that doesn't believe that she's worthy of somebody who is going to love her and treat her well. So the universe is sending her the same type of relationship over and over and over again to see if she's actually going to create boundaries for good and actually start to seek out people and treat herself well, so that she can attract people who will also treat herself well as well. That's just an example, but you can let me know in the comments if you're resonating with that. I'm also getting hibernation. So this is an opportunity, like I said, for you to go within. You got a universal bank, you got spiritual growth. I've been talking about meditation and our spiritual practices. Your soul needs some time alone. Meditation is going to be number one for you. And that's, that's a master number 66 there. I actually have the angel numbers book here by Mystic Michaela. I know that's a protective number, but let's just see exactly what that number represents here for you, because I feel like that is significant. And if you're seeing the number 66 or even 666, this is your validation and confirmation. Let me know down below in the comments if you're seeing this or any other synchronistic numbers. So 66 is responsibility. Create your own response. Even though your life can present many challenges, people and situations that are out of your control, how you respond to them is always your choice. And that's where that lesson comes in, right? When we are in an unhealed state, we're reactive when we're triggered. But when we're in a healed state, when we're coming from healed energy rather than wound energy, then we're more responsive. So how you respond to them is always your choice. You're being asked to reflect on the small ways that you can keep your responses as choices you make rather than automatic reactions. So you're being called to respond rather than react. Some of you might be feeling a little triggered in this month. You might be feeling a little triggered in the month of March. And again, this is a lesson for your soul's growth. So accept it as it is. I know that these challenging seasons can suck, but on the other side of this is your spiritual growth. You're going to be proud of the way that you show up when you're triggered. And to wrap things up here, I'm getting for you the soul group card. So this card comes up when you're reuniting with members of your soul family. You might be attracted to somebody's energy and you're not even sure why. It's like they feel familiar to you. When you're talking to somebody new, it's like you could tell them your whole life story and you're like, whoa, I don't know why I just, verbally vomited all over you, but I just feel so comfortable in your presence. It's because this is somebody that you have shared a past life with. I get this a lot because I have the personal belief that I only work with people that I've shared a past life with. So when somebody comes in to join one of my 16-week programs or to join my membership or to have a one-on-one session, they're always just like telling me their whole life story in such a short amount of time. And it's like, I know that that's because we feel comfortable with each other because we've shared a past life. Maybe in our past life, you were my mentor, you were my guide, you were my healer, you were my friend, you were my mother, you were my sister, you were my brother, who knows? But there's definitely a connection there. So if you have not yet had this experience where you have felt this comfort with people who could have been strangers, but you're not quite sure why you feel so comfortable with them, that is coming. Okay. That will be coming in the month of March. You can call it in as well if you've been feeling lonely because of this hibernation stage that happens sometimes. It's like a dark night of the soul, right? It can feel a little lonely when we take the time within because we're sort of isolating ourselves, but it is for the greater good of all. We're doing a lot of inner work. We're doing a lot of healing in that time alone. So you can always call in your soul group. Of course, if you're looking for a soul group, I mean, my community is pretty beautiful. The Sacred Self-Empowered membership community is so beautiful. And then we've also got the group inside of the Nourish Your Temple program. It's a 16-week program that helps you love yourself and love your body and heal from that core worthiness wound that sort of swayed you away from that in the first place. And we meet every single week on Zoom. So we're a very tight-knit community. We've got a private Facebook group for that as well. You can always find the links to all of my offerings down below in the description box. Now, like I said, I will jump into the extended reading with the Unshakable Inner Truth Oracle, as well as the Shaman's Dream Oracle. So I hope to see you over there. If you liked this video, I would appreciate it if you hit that like button, leave me a comment down below to let me know how you're resonating with it, because you know how the algorithm works. The more that you like and the more that you comment, the more people who will see this video. And if you're new here, I do hope that you'll consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.